can look at them, we can see that, like, oh, they all have DNA from the Levant, the diaspora. They're more or less more related to each other than not. Out of all of the Europeans, you have this one group of people that have this Levantine DNA at a higher percentage, and you know, like whether it's the Ashkenazi Jews or the Sephardic Jews that are in Europe or North Africa, and even the Mizrahi Jews, they share that DNA. But then, if we start expanding upon the evidence, like anthropologically, it's like, okay, why do they leave similar remnants behind? Why do they all speak Hebrew? You know, when I guess doing their religious services, why do they practice similar holidays? How the fuck is it possible for these people to be so similar? And there was some deviation from each other, but for the most part, like they were absolutely fucking Jews. Like there's no denying that. But when you have the Hebrew Israelites, none of you guys share anything similar. What you guys share is something that's like, you have a cult leader that had these weird fucking ideas and this big-brained Yakub, and you're going off of a Christian Bible, which is like really fucking hilarious. And somehow you guys are, I don't know, they're real Jews. And
well, Yakub, like, yeah, but Pepe, Yakub is that's Islam, bro. That's not like, I mean, that's like a section of Islam, probably the fruits or nation of Islam. That's not, nobody's teaching the Yakub thing now. Yakub, as far as like, you know, the way the Ashkenaz Jews speak, I mean, that'd probably be the way that you would pronounce Jacob. But I mean, when you deal with like, and this is the reason why, like, people buy books. People buy books and buy these books dealing with scholarship and dealing with historians, right? So, like, I mean, listen, I mean, okay, so it's like this, Pepe, right? You know, you're making it out as it to be very far-fetched, but the person that we were just talking about earlier, about Tucker Carlson, this dude came up to one of my elders from 34th and 7th in Manhattan, right? And that shit was on YouTube from like 10 or 12 years ago, when he approached him to talk about some things, and he specifically said, yeah, I mean, you know, I mean, based off of the images that I've seen, based off the history that I've seen, yeah, they would be African. Now, he didn't say black or Negro, he said African. So
ethnic, like Jews.
So my point is, it's not hard when you go into these books and you go into the scholarship in history and go into the actual bust in statues and the pictures of these particular individuals. They look like Negroes. I mean,
no, they were okay, but they weren't Negroes.
People in Rome, like
the Romans were not Negroes. The Romans.
No, I didn't say no. What I was saying was, I was talking about the Hellenistic Jews. When I was talking about the Jews that they were throwing into the gladiatorial pits to be eaten by lions. They look like fucking black people.
I
even have a book.
We have East African Israelites.
Real quick, I'm gonna land here, but okay, I have one book right here that's it's called Frank M. Snowden Jr., who wrote this book called Blacks in Antiquity, and he goes into the different pottery in different busts of these particular individuals during the Greco-Roman experience. I'm not saying that every Roman was black. When it comes to the Imperial Rome, they were ruled by Caucasians, but prior to that, they were darker complexion.
No. It's actually the opposite.
Yes.
We actually know the opposite. So when it came to the Romans, they were actually whiter before, you know, they became very expansionist. So they ended up having, you know, their Eastern.
Yes.
When it came to the East, and of course the expansion of the South, and when it comes to the Middle East and North Africa, and they ended up becoming far more mixed. And I would say that if anything, it's, and a lot of people make this argument today, the Romans of the past are different from the Italians today. The Italians have, admixture that the Romans did not have, at their peak. And so I just I find it laughable. What we do, what basically is agreed upon, even like with David Reich, they were never black. There was none of them were black.
I mean, can you look at my PTR and tell me what these people look like? Do they look like West Africans?
Yeah. So
This is the depiction of the Romans, of the Jews carrying the menorah. What do they look like? They look like West African.
My God, dude.
This is the Roman depiction of the Jews carrying the menorah in the Colosseum. No, it isn't. This is the Jews carrying. This is the Jews carrying the menorah, and this is a depiction of the Jews during the time of the Colosseum. You fucking retard.
Yeah, the Jews. The funny part is though is that all of us when I say all of us, I don't mean me literally, but
that is not an
shut the fuck up.
Victorian era image.
Okay, shut the fuck up.
It's on the wall of the Colosseum.
When it comes to some ethnocentrists, they like to paint, like for example, the Jesus and the Jews at the time. Somehow, if Jesus looked more Aryan, despite the fact that he was this fucking kike that would 1488 get the gas chamber, Sieg Hill, he's one of us. But then you get the blacks who are just like, no, this nigga be cruising in Jerusalem with, his fucking Air Force Ones and a boombox, Like, this is fucking retarded. Okay, they came from the Levant, okay? We know that these people were obviously of a Middle Eastern origin. Like, the fact that we have to sit here and deny basic goddamn facts to meet our centric narratives is fucking retarded. There's no reason to do that. There's literally no reason. Jesus was a fucking Jew.
He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, but where are the Jews from? What is the genetic migration of the Jewish people? Do you know that? Because they know it.
Just hang on. I'm black. I know you can't see my PTR, but I'm black. But I'm also
So am I.
Okay. But I'm also a Roman history. I won't call myself a scholar. I'll just say buff. What Pepe said is absolutely correct. The Romans were very white before they moved eastward towards what we know as the Ottoman Empire now in present day Turkey. And then there was some mixtures of them, and they moved south into like the Morocco area. So what Pepe is saying is absolutely correct. The idea
It's absolutely not. I'm looking at the gene studies on the Romans that just dropped tonight. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? The Western European population of today is an outside immigrant gene pool that is not supposed to be recognized as Western Roman. Dropped tonight on Twitter.
Okay, just calm down. But to sit here and try to claim
White people are not Romans. That's what it means in the last couple hours.
Yeah, okay. So just sit here
Literally
and
says a relief in the arch of Titus depicting the exile of the Jews.
Okay, will you guys shut the fuck up and let the man finish? Like, this is so goddamn
I'm
nonsense.
reading from the damn study. We got the DNA of the Romans right now this evening. Hell,
I don't give a fuck. You goddamn miscreant. You shut fucking mouth and let him finish.
yeah, what Buttercup is showing is accurate. All the depictions of themselves at that time, they're very white. And so this argument that, and I don't even know what this argument is, that blacks are somehow Chinese or Mayan or whatever have you. Blacks were mainly relegated to Central and West Africa 100,000 years ago, and then the migration, basically begins, and you have the people, you have white folks. So to claim that you're somehow the origination of Judaism or wherever this conversation began, I'm actually in agreement with Pepe. It's a completely different.
Yeah, the argument is Israelites are black.
And the last thing I'll say, it really doesn't matter. If you're not running shit today, And that's really what's more important.
History fucking matters, friend. When you sit up here and lie and say that you're everybody in history,
No. The reason you guys have the narratives that you have,
The Romans
are literally going to. Oh, shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! The reason you guys have the narratives that you have is because you want to say, we created all of this shit, okay, and white people stole it all. And so therefore, you know,
We want to say they're God's chosen people. That's the whole.
so wait. Okay,
history. That's what the DNA says.
wait. But here's the thing, though, Pepe. Here's my point. Though, because it's kind of nonsensical because it's like this, right? And it's like this, right? So I have the picture. So the picture of my PTR is in one of the books that I have. And this is from the page 74. Page 74 of this book. Oh, my connection. Okay, wait. Let me just read this real quick. Cause this shit is kind of nonsensical. So, out of the Black's Antiquity book from Frank M. Snowden Jr., right, who's a scholar in the Greco-Roman experience. All right, it says bronze statue of a boy Hellenistic, and it's the picture that's in my PTR. Hair in long spiral curls, close to head, very broad nose, rather thick. All right, and this is depicted in Handbook of the Greek Collection, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, Cambridge, Mass, 1953. So the point is that he's saying that, you know, he's basically searching of a lot of these busts and these images of people in Greece and in Rome being black. That's all. That's the point.
The problem is, and you're right. I'm trying to give you some backup here. That African Americans have, all ethnicities tend to do it, but they have this need to claim that they were everything. And
I used to think that too. I mean, if you read Roman and Greek history,
I may try to follow me back. I may try a moderator just so you guys would shut the fuck up and let me speak.
you read Roman history.
I don't want to moderate, but I'm just gonna tell you, brothers. Listen, we weren't everything. There were a lot of great things. There were a lot of great things that African Americans did, but to try to claim credit for things that happened in Europe and even some of the things that happened in Northern Africa, yes, the Egyptians were black, but outside of that, anything once you go past Mesopotamia, trying to claim to something sounds ridiculous. It's a bad discussion, you Pepe. I'll come back when you guys are having a real political talk about something serious that happened.
Yeah, I would say this. Like, I want to say this to the people of sub-Saharan African descent.
DNA markers.
Shut the fuck up. No, the DNA, like, you know, goes against your argument. But
The DNA
if you're gonna look at, hold on. If we were to look at, like, for example, even let's look at Latin American music. It's something that even if you're not, you've never had any kind of training or education in music, you can hear it. There's a Latin music is different. It will often have to do with something like they have a weird syncopated drum pattern. The bass and the notes are not. They're not happening at the same time as like the beats. And we can look at. Yes. So you're getting it, like the terceros, they like to call it. That's all African. When it comes to African Americans in the United States, the influence, like musically, like it had an extremely oversized impact musically in comparison to other ethnic groups. Nobody can deny that, and a lot of people are just like, oh, like rap music, oh, you know, these ghetto niggers, you know, they suck, you know. But if we were to look at like jazz and blues, they absolutely had a profound impact, and there's something that where this is something that was exported throughout the world. I mean, you literally, like when they talk about the British invasion, these British faggots had to go to Memphis to get schooled by who? Black musicians. I mean, there are some things to be proud of as being black. Like, there are things that black people could do that white people didn't do that have had a profound impact.
Well, I mean, they could be proud of people like, George Washington Culver, who was a famous, African slave who was adopted by two Germans and figured out how different usages for like peanuts and like, changing cotton crops into peanut crops, to get more nitrogen in the soil. I mean, you could be proud of your transatlantic chattel slavery African ancestors and not try to fucking appropriate fucking Israelite culture because you're a $5 fucking.
Yeah, okay, if we talk about America, yes, we're talking about America.
People of Italy.
No, we're talking about your ancestors.
Hold on, shut your goddamn mouth. So we can talk about.
Why are you talking about the
Shut your goddamn mouth. Shut your fucking mouth, you piece of shit. So I would say this.
Sub-Saharan.
Shut your fuck. Okay. Somebody moved into the goo. Amazing, because I was just about to do it. Now, I would say the patron, as a Catholic, I would make, Clarence Thomas the patron saint of the United States of America. Posthumously, once he dies, which I literally don't want him to do that. The most based man that is literally kept America glued together in a way that nobody else has been Justice Clarence Thomas, in my opinion. The patron saint of the United States is a black man. All of you white nationalists, you can see, you can be angry. That's fine. But Clarence Thomas grew up dirt poor. He had zero privilege. Literally. He grew up, just read about Clarence Thomas's childhood. He grew up super dirt poor, very dark complected individual, but a very bright, steadfast individual that he's just, whether on the right or the left, justices they couldn't really critique him based on how he would interpret the law. He's the patron saint of the United States. I just have to say this. Without Clarence Thomas, this very dark complected black man who grew up in utter poverty, we would not be the same. I love Clarence Thomas. I just say this. He's a great man.
Let me ask you a question. Why do you think the Black Hebrew Israelites like appropriating Israelite culture? You think it's because they're embarrassed of their own culture because it was stripped away?
Funny about that, the Jews never used the term Israelite culture.
Why can't
Ain't that a bitch?
Oh my God! You didn't
because you cut me off at least 5 times
here,
this whole fucking segment, bitch. That's why.
All right. So Pepe, do you think it's because they adopted white Ulster County Scotch hillbilly culture? And they're embarrassed by it that their culture was stripped away, their West African.
Yeah, so basically it was we was kings bullshit. It was what we would call kangin or we wasery. It's basically black people would make their history out to be something that it wasn't in order to claim that they're superior to white people, or maybe even at the same level. It's retarded. I don't know how else to put it.
So it's pretty much because they're beneath white people. They're like trying to claim that they're like God's chosen people now, because they're upset because their culture was stripped away, even though their culture was shit in the first place.
Yeah, see, this is stupid.
And then they adopted shitty
This is dumb as fuck now. No, what it is that like whenever somebody comes with a this is not alternative or No, it's just about questioning shit.
No, I said I am.
I mean, no, it's a Buttercup. I mean, but it's like this, Buttercup. The actual Jewish scholars, fuckers who are actual rabbis, like that are way above your pay grade. I've already come to me that I've spoken to already.
Facts. I don't even talk to.
I mean, to me, I like whatever you have to say, Rich. It's like it's a mute point. Like if rabbis and fucking other Jewish people who have a higher IQ level than you do, who have way better resume than you do.
Okay, hold on. Wait,
then I don't need to fucking hear what the fuck you have to say. It's stupid.
Most of the Jewish rabbis that are quote unquote white that end up, basically proving that the blacks were the original Jews.
What'd you say?
I mean, we got the DNA on the engineer. All of them are dark skinned.
No, I was saying, pull up the proof where the rabbis are agreeing that the blacks were the original Jews and they stole it.
There's a guy named Harry Rosenberg, and he's a very high level rabbi. That's one reference. Let me go find this shit because he brought this out like back in 2014. Let me see.
Yeah, that's all recent too. Like you can go back to 1920s. Governor Glubb of British Palestine. He's the one who deported all the black Hebrews and black Palestinians at gunpoint.
Did you hear what this retard said, that all the people of Western Europe and Central Europe were all black? So your ancestors, your French ancestors,
Governor Glubb in 1920s and 1930s deported
They believe all of us are black. The British
people
Empire,
out of
the Russian Empire, everybody was black.
Governor Glubb of British Palestine in the 1920s and 1930s deported the indigenous blacks of Israel and Palestine. He did it at gunpoint, and he filmed it. Tens of thousands of indigenous blacks, African-looking people being forced into Egypt. That's on film. You can look that up. The British kept that. That's before World War II. So they were there. We got proof from the Anglo-Saxon British archives. They were there. Now there's no black people in Palestine or Israel.
So in other words, that proof showed that you had people that would most likely be foreigners, that both the Muslims in particular, they had a bed quarters. They considered blacks like subhuman pieces of shit that your family could never.
I can't even agree with that because I got Arabic scriptures that say white people are of slave blood. They talked about that for 300 years in Arabic scholarship. That's white people are not even supposed to be allowed into Islam. That's in writing, multiple citations. Got like a dozen.
Wait! Hold on.
I can share the damn guy who did the
translation. Okay, sure. Hold on. This is where Muslims will eat you alive. There is no fucking Muslim.
This is their religion that says it.
There is no Muslim that would say that white. Shut your fucking faggot mouth. There is no Muslim that would say. First of all, it's a proselytizing religion, just like Christianity.
That's lovely. White people are not allowed to be Muslim nor Arab. That's in multiple citations.
Why did they call their slaves black? Why did
Muhammad
call his slaves black?
Anytime you need help.
They call their slaves the Ajam, which means red or very white. That's what they call their slaves. White people. That's their slaves. If you have lanky hair, you are of slave blood. If you have blue eyes, you are a sinner in the eyes of Allah.
No, retard. He literally called them black.
I don't know what you're talking about because these Arabic scholars don't know.
Arabic scholars. You mean Afrocentric scholars that are not Arab.
These are the scholars 680 to 980. They're writing the Quran. They're consulting on the Quran. They understand and are describing Islam.
But these aren't Arab scholars. These are people that are
the Arabic scholars.
No,
blood nephew of Prophet Muhammad himself is the top knight of the Masonic order of Arabs who fought the Mamluks to take back Arabia. He claims the Arabic scholar. He is the Arabic teller. He says,
Yeah,
I am not.
I know. These people appoint themselves to be a lot of things. It doesn't mean they're actually a thing.
He wrote multiple poems about how green, like Ethiopian he is, proving that he is of pure Arabic lineage. He's bragging about his race and his black skin. He's like, you know I am of the house of the Arabs because I am jet black. That's what he's bragging about while Muhammad is alive.
Yeah, but the fact that he's black means he's not Arabic.
The fact that he's jet black definitively identifies him as a pure-blooded Arab. He's no slave. He is the conqueror. So yeah, your Qurans are wrong. People have been lying. White folks have been rewriting all these.
I love how you retards are like literally giving the ammunition to both Jews, Christians, and Muslims to attack you because you're so like.
They were already planning to do that for the last 400 years, my nigga. What are you talking about? They've been doing it the whole time. What are you talking about? And nothing's gonna change tomorrow. More attacks on white folks and all their dick-sucking allies? That's a Tuesday. Now we get to fight back.
So I'm just curious, why hold on. So, you know, you guys were kings and shit, right? And you taught us all how to be civilized and how to live in these kingdoms. So
multiple times.
Yeah, so why is there no proof, especially in modern history or even today, that you niggas can run anything?
What do you mean there's no proof? You talk about Rome,
literally,
Sparta, and Carthage, and
Pepe,
Egypt.
I mean,
those are places run by black people.
Well, Pepe, I mean,
today.
I got too much evidence that.
But Pepe, here's the funny thing though, like, right? You say that, Let me just say this real quick, right? You say you ask that question, right? But honestly, white Caucasian man has only been in power for only about 250 years, right? And look where this fucking country's going. Look at going to shit.
Yeah, but blacks have never been in power globally.
Yes, they have.
No, they haven't.
Yeah, I mean the Dark Ages, Middle Ages.
No.
Black King Arthur and so on.
No, there's zero proof that black people. No.
Right, yeah, but he's got a point there.
On a global level, black people have never been considered to be a global power, like ever.
I'm telling you. I mean, it's about Pepe. Do you understand the concept of iconoclasm? And going in and destroying busts. That's the reason why you go into a lot of different areas in Venice, Rome, Italy, so on and so forth, Spain, Portugal, France. You see a lot of these statues. You see that half the fucking noses and lips are blown up. They're blown up for a reason because if you saw those features for what it was, those were niggers that were ruling there. Right? That's the reason why they go around over there in France making mockery of putting on blackface because back then, because 800 years ago, their asses were in fucking slavery. They were, you know what I'm saying? Like back then, black people were ruling those areas. So the point is, like when you go into books like the icon books, right? Because a lot of the Eastern European white people, they understand this fucking concept. They understand this. This is the reason why they have conversations. They will tell you, yes, black people used to fucking rule Europe during the Dark Ages. And a lot of them got destroyed during the bubonic plague. Shut the fuck up. Shut up, Rich. And so the point is, so when I go into a book like Icon Image, we're talking about the whitewashing.
Alright, cool. Yeah, he said Sahih Muslim, book 22, Book of Slaves, Hadith 1602. Jabir, may Allah be pleased with him and may peace be upon him, reported a slave came and pledged allegiance to the messenger of Allah, may peace be upon him, for migration. Hijar, the prophet did not know that he was a slave. Then he said to his master, go and demand him. He demanded him back. The prophet said, sell him to me. So he bought him for 2 black slaves, and then did not afterwards take the allegiance of anyone until he asked him whether he was a slave or free man. The specific word that's used is habashia. Habashia, I guess is how it's pronounced, which generally referred to people of East African descent who were black in this context.
Yeah, they were dirty Jabir. First of all, if you're black that converts to Islam, so you guys don't know that. Hold on.
Why can't you let him elaborate on that? Like,
Sure. I'm a white that converted to Islam, and I was all for the Arabs.
Okay.
I was all for the Arabs, and then we would get these blacks that were being ghetto, just like the United States. And they'd be like, no, they're fucking to be that dirty
Wait,
Jabir.
you mean the left shoulders?
And they would basically say like, no, put
I
that.
would like to read the Arabic.
They would
scriptures.
basically hold on. They would
I had a white
basically say like,
therapist
oh,
from the last
wow, hold on. They would basically say, put that dirty nigger in check. Like, why are you talking to him? And so, I'm of the firm belief that, like, when it comes to, this racial equality that you see in Islam, which doesn't really exist, I actually think I'm going to convert to Islam because, like, I get to be way more racist, and I get to say that my racism, you're being Islamophobic when I say this. So, when I want to tell a dirty Jabir, like, you dirty niggers, and say, like, wow, get to the whipping post, boy. That's your real, wow, don't interrupt me.
Pepe, aren't you already a Muslim?
So, like, I get to tell you people that you're wrong and you're bad, and I get to punish you and whip your black buttocks, for being dirty, Negroes. And so, I think Islam is probably the answer for the West. I mean, if I'm just being honest, I've been coping so hard. I've been coping so hard.
You don't even go with
No, I've been coping so hard, and like the reality is I think that like the ultimate goal should be like a Muslim, Aryan alliance where like not only do we become Muslim, but we become like Aryan, and so hold on,
Pepe, what is a
wow.
Pepe, what is a Muslim?
Wow!
You
Let
say
me finish my point. Okay,
Farm.com.
who is this guy? Who's this guy talking?
White supremacy.
I'm a genocide researcher. That's who's talking.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and move people to move to the audience. Who else do I need to move to the audience? Because I'm getting really sick of you faggots. Okay, so I do think maybe the best way to enforce, white ethno-nationalism is that we're Muslim, and which, by the way, like, we get to enslave people and have concubines, which is fucking amazing. I want to go to war. It's like, goddamn, I'm tired. Oh, wow. It's like, wow, your husband just got killed? Amazing. Let me just hate fuck you, and like, maybe you'll forget about it, or it'll traumatize you. I don't know. But I'm doing the Lord's work. I'm doing the work of Muhammad. I'm being a very good Muslim. I will kill your husband and slit your children's throats. And then I will... Yeah, amazing.
I love him.
Yes. Yeah, amazing. And so, I can kill your husband and slit your children's throat, take you as a concubine. But in fact, you know what? If I was a really good Muslim, perhaps I would take like your 8-year-old girl and just go ahead and fuck her too, right? Because that's what you Muslims like to do.
It's crazy. They said that America basically was given to white Europeans by Muslims, the Moors or whatever. The Treaty of Tripoli, they lied to the Muslims.
No. Read. What did the ambassador? What did the ambassador to Tripoli? You fucking lying piece of shit.
Tripoli.
You fucking no. Shut your fucking Muslim fucking faggot mouth. Okay. What did they say? They literally said that the ambassador said that Allah, okay, and our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, seeks that when we find you, you fucking non-believers, idolaters. No. This was the reasoning given for why they would not stop their piracy. And then our very first foreign war, as we after our War of Independence, was we went to Tripoli, okay, when it came to the Berberi pirates in Barbaria, which is what it was called at the time. We ended up defeating them. And so, like, I'm listening to all of this niggardry that you want to fucking offer, and to, like, what are you trying to do? Like, are you trying to conflate you being a nigger has to do with you being a fucking slave and a pirate? Does it have to do with with Islam being just? What is it that you're trying to conflate?
For me, like anytime I hear people start talking about like appropriation and this, I don't know who you were talking to, as far as like as far as when the topic brought up. But whenever I hear that topic brought up in a room or on YouTube or wherever the fuck else, I'm gonna be there to push back on it. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? Because I have the information readily available to counteract whatever about black people, sub-Saharan, all this fucking.
Okay, but you people were never Jewish. Like, and I wish you, and Rabaya, like, I try to be nice and charitable to a large extent, but at the end of it, you have to look at it through my. You have to look at it through my perspective. When I see somebody committing an act of theft. Okay, if I was a good Muslim or a Christian, we would have to stand against it. Now, what I see is this nigger wizardry, where you guys literally want to steal the identities of other people. Okay, you can shut the fuck up. But like, I see this like bullshit where we have to fucking pretend. You're like, oh yes, I don't want to offend a minority. No, I absolutely, like, your whole fucking viewpoint is offensive, and it is literally stealing the identity of another group of people. Like, me as somebody who has zero Navajo blood, and I would start to make arguments of how I'm actually like a fucking Navajo, and make up.
Can't be.
Jesus Christ. Just move him down a bit. He's a fucking. God damn, just so fucking.
Blood wouldn't even let you talk that way.
He's not tracking.
Chris, you cut people off all the fucking time.
He's not tracking the conversation. Rabbi.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to kick that stupid fucker down. And so at the end of the day, like, the Navajo, and by the way, I'd have to go there every year when I was a young kid. My dad worked for the federal government, not because I was like, Navajo. I made friends there. You're fine. Are they culturally a lot different from us non-Navajo? Yes, I would say absolutely yes. They're just different. Like, what I don't get is, like, one of the things, like, I will talk to different groups of people on this app and other apps is because I want to get to know them. What are they about? I'm somebody who actually, I'm a weird person in the sense that I find diversity very exciting. Why are different groups of people the way they are? And oftentimes there are things that I'll respect about their culture. It's like, oh my God, you guys are so cool. Like that is, wow, I wish America was like that. But when it comes to like diversity, where it's just like, oh, well, all of you majority white countries, somehow we should just like, yeah, you know what, you're all white, and that's bad. And, diversity is their strength. Okay, well, the argument that they're basically making, which ironically, is that diversity of genes and race is somehow beneficial. Yet they like to say that like a race isn't a real thing, and being racist isn't a real thing, and so hold that position, earnestly. And I just found it. To me, I'm a very reactionary person. I'm not somebody who like wants to hurt people or pillage people or subjugate other people, but I will absolutely be incredibly offensive and outspoken. And if I'm forced to, yeah, I'll fight for it. But my first goal is like never violence. I don't really, it's not my thing. But you're like just listening to like so many of you African Americans who claim that you were the founders of the fucking world. You were the real fucking Jews. Jesus was black. The Romans were black.
JB, right?
And the you know, oh, shut up. You just like totally. God damn it.
You were kind of running on.
Yeah, I know, and you make me lose my train of thought, which is why it's fucking annoying. But like we don't. Okay, what? See, Jesus Christ, this is why you're a fucking problem, dude. Like I was talking, and you made me lose my train of thought, and now this faggot wants to talk.
First of all, you have attacked my friends here and now, and I'm not going to stand for it anymore.
Okay, what are you gonna do about it?
What am I going to do about it? You mean what have I already done about it?
Yeah, what are you gonna do about it? You're not gonna stand for it. What? So taking your stand is gonna be what? You saying you're taking your stand? Amazing.
Okay, first of all, you're being racist. First of all, you're being.
How am I being racist? You faggots are no. You faggots were being racist by declaring that every fucking race, the Native Americans, the Jews, the first dynasties in China, the Imperial Japan, all of Europe, all of the Romans. We can look on and on and on. You're being racist by trying to claim that you guys are being racist by trying to claim that all. Shut up! You guys are being racist by trying to declare. Shut the fuck up! You guys are being racist. Shut up! Okay, you guys are being racist by trying to infer that all of these people were you black people, which is obviously not the fucking case. You don't want us to whitewash, non-white people's history. That you people are so comfortable with trying to blackwash your your fucking history by literally stealing the identity of other people. You faggots are not Jews. You're not Romans. You're not the Japanese. You're not any of those people. You're sub-Saharan Africans. Like, just fucking deal with it. Be proud of who you are. Quit trying to be a bunch of stealing, for lack of a better term, a bunch of fucking, stealing niggers, and just be proud of who you are. There's no reason to steal people's identity. I was not a Jew. I was not black. I was not Russian. I was not Japanese. I was not Chinese. I was not Native American. I have literally zero interest in trying to take the accomplishments of other people. Why? Because I should not feel proud of the accomplishments of people that had nothing to do with me and my ancestry. And even, let's just say they were of my ancestry. I can't, just because I had ancestors who accomplished great things, I'm not somebody who can, steal their valor and say, oh, I'm such a badass. I'm so brilliant and so smart. No, at the end of the day, you also have to look at the goddamn individual. But you stupid fucks are so focused on not only stealing the valor and identity of other people, but you want to
People have done though. I mean, because it's like this, like Pepe, like me. I'm not going back to Africa because my forefathers don't come from no damn Africa. They come from Native, come from America. But
no, I've seen your you're part
White.
I can promise you are part fucking sub-Saharan African descent.
No,
100%.
I'm Native American on my father's side, and I'm black on my mother's side, right? But the only people that are really allowed in in these fucking tribes really are black people, and the fucking chiefs will tell you that because they're the relationship that blacks and natives have. But according to the Virginia Act of 1682, they state that they are fucking Negroes. All right, that's according to them. That's according to America, or according to the 13 colonies and all the other shit that was going on. All right, and that's still like that to this very day. But with that being said, though, right, you're talking about black people stealing everything. Like, black people are not stealing shit. I mean, you have white people who think that the dynasties of Egypt, right, the people, the Nilotic people, the Nubians, the fucking people who descend from that particular people, like the Sudanese and Watusis and Zulus and shit, white people think that they were the ones that were in the dynasty of Egypt.
No, that's bullshit.
The only dynasty that they were in was the Ptolemaic dynasty. All right, when the four generals, what's the name, Ptolemy Soter from Alexander's fucking army in his lineage took over Egypt. That's the only time they ever were in Egypt. Prior to that, it was fucking black ass Africans that were ruling Egypt. All I'm saying is that when it comes to, and I'll land here, black people are not stealing other people's shit. It's white people stealing other people's shit, saying that they're Indians and all this other silly shit. Listen, all black people are saying is that these particular people, like the Ainus in Japan, like fucking the Untouchables over there in East India and whatnot, and several other different ethnic groups of people, have black lineage. It's just what it is, man. And that the original people of these particular lands, because of migration patterns, because of people conquering shit and destroying artwork and images, which is iconoclasm, based off of that, based off of history and research, that these people were black at one point. That's all people are saying. It's not about stealing somebody's car.
That's not.
That's bullshit.
There's no evidence. Yeah, there's no evidence of that.
So this is bullshit. So I understand you have people with dark skin that have somewhat Afro-textured hair and
skin folk or not kin folk.
And so, but genetically, when it comes to the Southeast Asians, they're not. It's not that they have any relation to. I mean, they do have a relation, just like all of us do, to people from sub-Saharan Africa. But the people that you see, that what they call the Negritos, from South Asia all the way into the South Pacific, yes, they have somewhat of a phenotype that you can say is similar to that of sub-Saharan Africans. However, genetically, they're not related, literally. Now, when it comes to, like, once again, my claim is you're trying to claim that you're an original Jew and you think that Jesus was black, and of course you go into the whole shit, like the Romans, all of the people. We can go to Asia, whatever, they all had black origins. Amazing. But then you said, the African Empire, when you were even talking about that, the problem is when it comes to North Africa, it's a very different animal. You have 500 to 2,000 miles, depending on where you are, a very impassable desert. You can go along the Nile and transverse, from North Africa to South Africa or to Sub-Saharan Africa, but it's not a place where the North Africans were very different. If you look at North Africa, South Asia, and Southern Europe, there were nonstop migrations throughout these fucking areas. These people were more similar to each other than not. And I hate to break it to you, yes, there were some people that you would consider black. But the vast majority of them, they just weren't black. This isn't me claiming a white win. The vast majority of the people that were going throughout the Levant, for example, were not what you would consider contemporarily white. They were not European. But you want to say that they were somehow black, despite the lack of evidence. Why do this? Well, why you feel people's identities. And I mean this, and I mean this realistically. Like, you're a black man. We can talk about where black people have outperformed white people in the United States. There are things where you can be proud of, but to steal other people's identities, it is just like so pathetic that like I've always found it very hard to like really be mean to you, Rabea. Like I just.
I don't have any feeling. I don't. It's not about we're having a conversation whether you believe in whatever.
Want to show how Rabea was wrong. The Aita people of the Philippines actually have the K2B1 haplogroup and also have the P haplogroup. They also share certain mitochondrial DNA markers with the populations from India. And then I went on to say, hey, with those specific people from India, do they have any haplogroup overlapping with people from sub-Saharan Africa? And it said no.
Yeah, the people that look black that throughout Southern Asia to
From India,
the South Pacific, India's South Asia, but so they are not. They do not have any more genetically any more relation to sub-Saharan Africans than even white people. Yeah, amazing. So in comparison to even white people from which are from Europe, they're very distinct groups of people, and so this I don't know how to put it. Like even the term race, like David Reich, the who leads the genetic studies there at Harvard, he doesn't use the term like race. He uses human populations, and even if we look at like Europeans, and we're different, not only genetically, but we vary significantly in size, and even like in a lot of ways, I would say even how we behave around each other. Like I just think it's a silly argument, like trying to make this argument that like blacks, they're responsible for everything that is like, I guess, great in society, which there's zero evidence for. But then you guys like to make this claim that like, but we stole it from you guys. And then, which in a way you guys are stealing it by claiming that. But then you do this weird thing where it's just like, by saying we stole it from you guys are making yourselves out to be the victim, and then you blame it on us. And it's just like, how do you expect us to be even like even reason with that?
Wait, are you surprised that the blacks are stealing?
Wait, Pepe, wait, hold on. I mean, just assuming that you're white, which, I've heard you say that you're,
He's French.
different things, but regardless, just French, I'm not sure, but it don't matter. Point being though, right, so I'm with you on the whole thing about, it's like this, I'm with you when it comes to, playing victim, because at the end of the day, life's about conquest, right? I do agree with that. But the point is, it's not about playing victim when it comes to pointing out certain truths about this world, and certain truths about people covering up information. When it comes to that, that's not victimhood. That's just sitting up here calling the spade a spade.
Okay, but like I look at it differently though. Like I'm not. For example, I'm not a Jew. I'm not safeguarding what it is to be a Jew. Now, I do hear Jews argue about like whether certain converts, whether certain people are Jewish. I don't really get involved in those arguments because it's not my community to gatekeep. Now, what's very different is I see people that are up west, and Central African descent, that like to claim that like they are the original Jews. Like they're outright stealing their identity. And I'm sorry, like when it comes to Black Hebrew Israelites, you guys are, for lack of a better, lack of a better term, being like, yeah, a bunch of big niggers that like just.
Wow.
I have to say it. I have to say it that way because it's just like
Stealing what though?
Culture.
stealing their like you have to understand that when you get like people that are not Jewish, like myself, that are not, we are not. Because I'm not a Jew, and when I hear, you know, these super absurd claims, like I like, not only am I going to like look at, I'm definitely going to look at like, you know, Black Hebrew Israelites as being like fucking crazy and
They're the worst people ever.
not respect them. But I'm gonna like in a weird way, including myself. I'm gonna be honest here. Like, it gives me a much more negative opinion of Black people, and I think I'm not the only one. Like, because it is so bizarre, it is so stupid and asinine. Like, I think, and I can understand. Like, maybe it's a big part of your identity, but I just think that, despite it being a big part of your identity, I have to be truthful to you. And I just think that it is such bullshit that I can't co-sign it. In fact, I feel like I should actively call it out.
No, but listen, but when it comes to like debates, right? Because mind you, we've had many debates on the streets or even just on YouTube and shit, right? The way you structurize debate, not saying that we're debating or anything, just having a conversation, you know, and of course people are going to be firm in their beliefs, right? Everything at the end of the day is going to be arbitrary until both parties present
nothing to
their
debate.
information.
You're just fucking wrong.
Yes, you see how he just fucking cut me off every time because he can just trigger.
Oh, hold on. I'm out.
Fucking feet.
Why is it still in culture? It was clear that
Okay.
it was black. What are you talking about?
Hold on, guys, shut up.
You shut up, nigga.
I'm walking outside, and I had. Okay, it's amazing. Let's let him finish his fucking response.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is that so the point is that everything's arbitrary because everybody's going to say, well, my points are the valid, your points are not, right? Either which side. But the point is that what happens is you line both people up, present the information, and then you compare and contrast. And whoever has the most valid information usually wins the debate. So that's my point. My point is, my point is like with the conversation we're having now, it's arbitrary on both points, on both sides, because the point is not convincing. My point is just more in defense of the fact that, you know, as you made the statement about Israelites or whatever, I have my issues with certain groups. That's personal. But as far as like the information and the things that are brought out, I hear a lot of people from different sects, whether it be Black conscious people, right? The people you call Afrocentrics who come against them a lot. Rabbis, Christians, Muslims, so on and so forth. And my thing is, every time I watch them, majority of the time, outside of the last couple of times against these Christian apologetics, they usually destroy them every time, bringing out strong sources of information. The same argument that you're making against Black people against the Black Israelites, the Black conscious community did that a couple years ago against them ISUBK motherfuckers, and they destroyed them. And them motherfuckers don't even know shit. My point is, Pepe, is that whenever somebody comes up starts saying that kind of shit about Black people not having history, and I hear that shit in any room or anywhere
in Africa.
I'm going to. Yeah, I have history in Native America.
In the South,
in Native America, because my father's was
not Native American.
Yes, I am Native American. So, with that being said, I'm going to come against it because I just see a lot of shit coming against, real history, what I deem to be real history. So that's just, I'm going to have a pushback just by nature. So,
well, see, even if you talk about Israel, the place called Israel today, that place didn't look like that in the 1800s.
Archaeological or fucking genetic.
Well, all you gotta do is genetics. I'm not an Israelite. I'm not talking to you. Talk to Ray Abaya. Ray Abaya.
You know what?
Shit,
Peter, what are you talking to then?
You have the birth certificate for your father, Ray Abaya, and it's blank for his father. You don't even know who your fucking grandfather is. So it could be a white guy that looks like fucking Beaver or Pepe. And that's why you're so
Okay, guys.
Native American.
Okay, guys, I'm bored, so I'm gonna do something really weird here. Yep.
Yeah, we already did that. You know, you're gonna say faggots, and then close.
No.
Yeah, you are. You're gonna say, "All right, good night, faggots," and then close the room, like you always do.
No. Okay. So you know, I'm making a special.
Fucking asshole!
I'm gonna make a special. I'm gonna make a special moderator. I'm gonna go ahead. Move me down. Okay, watch. Move to audience. Move to.
Listen to the down bullshit.
Wow.
John,
Did you take your medication this morning?
Ray Abaya, you're the first one getting kicked.
Did your medication before you kicked me? Did you take your medication this morning?
Okay, I want to ask you a question, Ray Abia. You claim, well, I don't know if it was you or a different speaker, but I think it was Sword. You claimed that in Israel in the 20s, the British Anglo Film Production Company recorded African or black individuals in Israel being forcibly removed, correct? Do you have a link?
Sulfur that name, and it was Governor Glubb, Glubb, Governor Glubb of British Palestine, who filmed himself genociding indigenous blacks of Palestine and Israel. He removed them at will.
Okay, so if you can do the research and put the link, I would like to look at that. I'm not going to Google that myself right now. But so what I'm asking you is, if that is true, are you implying that those black people are the real Jews? Is that what you're saying? El Normo, welcome.
I believe that was in the 1880s and 90s when they were recorded as the indigenous people of Israel. So that was already known before he had governorship. That's the beauty of the whole situation. There's more footage from before him.
But just because
the majority indigenous people of Israel.
But how do you know that those black people didn't just, mosey on over from Africa? I don't understand. What's your point?
Because genome mapping of the last 25 years has pointed out that the indigenous group of the Middle East, Mesopotamia, Assyria, the Levant region, is 7,000 BC arrival from Somali Ethiopian genome groups. So they have always just been black Africans.
That is
it wasn't a surprise. We've known that for about 15, 20 years now.
It's such a bunch of nonsense that it's laughable. It's like saying you come from Mars. You're just in such denial of reality. Like you can't even open your eyes and see what's there.
El Normo, do you understand that the Eastern African culture of that ancient time is still present across not only the Middle East, but also India, all the way out to Indonesia. For instance, Tamil in India is one of the oldest languages in the world. It's Cameroonian, and no one wants to explain how a Cameroonian dialect is in Asia.
We're not talking about Tamil. We're talking about Israel. I can prove you wrong.
You asked for an example that we have today, right now, that is proof positive. These are black Africans living outside of Africa. That's proof.
Where are they?
The Dravidian people, the black-skinned people of India. They're an indigenous group of India, correct?
We're talking about Israel. You're just switching around.
Correct. These people share the Somali Ethiopian lineage. It's a splinter.
What people?
That means one went to Arabia, one went to Greece, one went to Pakistan, one went to India, and one went to Indonesia. That's the Horner African radiations that they know about right now in 2025.
It's like saying aliens built the pyramids. That's what this is the equivalent.
This is not at all unknown. The people speaking Bantu dialect in Africa.
I don't know about it.
Do you know, have you ever studied the linguistic analysis of Semitic languages? They're all Ethiopian.
Of course, that's what we do with our whole. We've been doing it for 3,000 years.
Do you know what the primordial Semitic language is?
There's no word.
Do you know that it still exists today?
For 3,000 years, where?
Do you know? I need El Normo.
Do you know?
El Normo.
The Martians built the Empire State Building and the Statue of Liberty? Do you know? I bet you don't know what the Statue of Liberty is made of and why it's green. It comes
Normo.
from Mars, and it's made of cheese.
El Normo, Arabic comes from the highlands of Ethiopia. Ge'ez is the predecessor language of all the Aramaic and Arabian that you guys love taking credit for and saying this is your heritage. It's all Eastern African.
Wait a second. You don't think that the Torah is Jewish?
All the Jewish culture is Eastern African.
I asked you a direct question. Our culture comes from the Torah. Do you not think it's Jewish? If it's not, then why do we have it and you don't?
The Torah is taught to the ancient Egyptians by the Ethiopians.
Oh, really?
2700 BC. That is 1,000 years before Israel is a sovereign entity.
Did you make that up? Did you just make that up?
That's a stele they dug up in Egypt.
We saw the stele. The stele refers to us. That's not the Torah.
The stele refers to Hebrews. It doesn't refer to you. It refers to the black people.
It refers to us. Who speaks Hebrew? Not you.
He refers to the black people of Ethiopia who arrived 3000 BC into the Nile Valley and taught Hebrew. They taught circumcision to the ancient Egyptians. They taught circumcision.
Are you high now? You're changing the subject. If I say they speak,
the Ethiopians.
You're gonna talk over.
The Ethiopians.
If I say they speak Amharic, you go to circumcised. If I say they don't have the Torah, you say they're just
and in their honor, the Egyptians put up a carved obelisk thanking the Ethiopians for bringing Hebrew tradition, circumcision to Egypt.
What fellow would that be?
They're not talking about Israel. They're talking about Jews and Hebrew.
Needless to say, you're from North Carolina, correct?
No, I'm from the Caribbean.
So you're from where?
He said North Carolina.
I'm from the Greens. My ancestors settled the North Carolina area.
Deep and profound. All the Hebrew scholars of Jamaica and Trinidad. Yes, there are so many. All the great Nepharim.
Can I ask you a question?
You asked for evidence of the Somali Ethiopian extension.
Show me a book.
It's in the book of all these other groups.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
El Normal, let me ask.
The Jewish.
Let me ask El Normal a question.
Just a Somali book in Hebrew. Fool. This is so stupid.
Has more books than your Bible.
Show me a Somali book.
I understand, but I have a question. I have a question for El Normo.
You know.
Show me a Somali book. Show me this. Show me this. You're gonna show me a Somali Torah?
Okay, I'll bring you back up.
You're gonna show me a Somali Torah pretty soon?
El Normo, the question is, I'm wondering, what do you think you can agree on with Lus here? What my theory is that you can agree on God or spirituality or intelligence, but what do you?
I can agree. We can agree that he's never read a book in his life. I can agree on that. And he wouldn't know Hebrew if he saw it. And people come on this app, I guess, in their lives. They talk about things that.
It's a book, right?
I beg your pardon. Okay, have you ever seen a Torah in your life? Have you seen it?
The Bible is a book that tells us where the homeland of the Jews is. It's Ethiopia. Shockingly, the genetics match that.
Can you provide
the King James
Bible? Oh, we don't know him. That was a white guy from England. We don't really mess with him.
He wasn't white.
That was a Blackamoor. That was a Blackamoor who hired Spanish Hebrews. Black Hebrew Israelites born and raised in Spain.
He hired William Tyndale, actually.
Yeah, King James was black. He's right.
Black. I don't know if you knew that.